Hi, I'm Lacey Filipich, founder of Money School and Maker Kids. Thanks for joining me today for this video series. It's the first instalment. I want to tell you a little bit about where Maker Kids has come from. Before I do that though, I need to tell you a little bit about myself. For those that haven't met me before, my name is Lacey Filipich and I'm actually a chemical engineer. I studied chemical engineering in Brisbane where I grew up, and in my second year of university, my mother encouraged me to buy property instead of buying a car with the money that I had saved from working throughout high school and university. And I did. I became a landlord at 19, which was quite exciting, and when I moved into mining and moved to Western Australia, I kept investing and kept saving and kept paying down my debt. And as a result, here I am in my mid-30s, and I can choose when and whether I will work because I earn an income from my assets. That all started because of my mum teaching me about money, which is what led me to found Money School. When I had children, I was thinking about how to teach them about money, and of course I thought, well, the way I learned from my mum worked really well and I'd like other people to have that opportunity. And that's where Money School came from. As I was running Money School and working with particularly parents, teaching them how to teach their kids about money, one of my clients came to me and asked me if I would attend her child's book club. I had written a book called Bunny Money, and it's about saving, and it's targeted at 6 to 8 year olds, but lots of 10-year-olds like it as well. And one of her 4 children, the eldest, Ash, who was nearly 11 at the time, had read the book as part of the process of going through the course and was interested in making more money so that she could save more. And she had taken the book to her book club, and they had all read the book, and lo and behold, all these little kidpreneurs had sprung up. Every single one of them had decided to start their own business so they could make some more money. So I went along to the book club, met them and had a chat and asked them some questions about their businesses, and I was just so inspired by what they had done that I thought, gee, we've got to do some more about this and how can we support them? So for those kids and for a few other kids that in the local area that had contacted me, I held a book launch and kidpreneur showcase, and that was in November 2016. And the kids had a marvelous time, and I was just blown away by what they had done with their businesses. It was incredibly inspiring, and it made me reflect actually back to my beginnings in business, which I hadn't thought about for many years. But when I was 10 years old, I had actually started my own business, and it was doing something called hair wraps. They're not very fashionable now, but they're basically wrapping cotton around your hair in a little tiny section, and you use lots of colours and beads. And I had been to the local markets and had seen people doing hair wraps in other people's hair, and I had thought, that actually doesn't look too hard. And so I went home and learned how to do it myself, and then I taught 4 of my girlfriends at school. I think I was in year 5 or 6 at the time. And we ran a stall at the school fete doing hair wraps. So that was my first foray into business, and I learned heaps about that. And it wasn't really until I've been reflecting back on it recently that I realised what an impact having a business as a child had on me. I had experienced managing people, I had experienced managing money, I had experienced marketing, I had experienced being my own boss. And even though I went on then to jobs like coaching gymnastics and working in childcare and then eventually engineering and management consulting, it's kind of interesting that I've now come back to this entrepreneurial mold, and that I feel perfectly capable to be able to do that because of that experience, which started when I was 10 years old of running my own business. So having seen these kids go through the process of launch their own businesses, and they're amazing stories, and I'll tell you in the next video about these kids, and you'll just be blown away by what they've achieved. It's incredibly inspiring. I then reflected on how we can use that experience to achieve one of my goals, which is to teach kids about money. And what great opportunity to learn about money when you are getting paid for a product or service, and then you have to manage things like your expenses, budgeting. You have to decide whether you're going to save some money, whether you're going to reinvest back in the business, whether you're going to donate. What a wonderful vehicle for kids to get involved and excited about learning about money. So those kids that I had seen through my course and that the parents had been teaching about money, the ones that were a little bit less engaged, suddenly when you threw in this aspect of running their own business and having them be maker kids, they got really excited about it. So that's where it started, the idea for this business and this particular product that we are now launching. And so we are now going into schools and taking kids through the process of launching their own businesses. Now at the moment that's an in-class program. So we work one class a week, it's about half an hour, for 10 weeks, and at the end the kids get to have a showcase at the end where they sell their product or their service, and it's generally tried to link into other aspects of the school operation, you know, like a fete they might be having on open day. Through that process, we're seeing kids get excited about making money and getting excited about what to do with that money. So I'm really thrilled that we're getting the experience of kids learning about money that way in such a practical sense. The other aspect, which I hadn't really thought about until recently, but really comes through as a result of my experience, and I'm sure it will be the same for these kids, is this idea, and a lot of parents talk to me about it, of being worried about the jobs of the future. What are our children going to do? How can they train for and study for jobs that we don't even know what they're going to be yet? We don't even know whether they exist. And what I keep coming back to in my experience, having been an engineer and worked in money and now also doing entrepreneurial stuff, is that there's one common skill set that everybody is going to need no matter what happens and no matter what the jobs are, and that is problem solving. And it's little surprise, I guess, that me being an engineer, I love problem solving, but also anyone in small business or running their own businesses has to be an expert problem solver as well. So in my opinion, doing the kidpreneur programs, becoming maker kids, means that these kids get an experience of trying what it's like to be an entrepreneur and problem solving all those aspects, which is an invaluable experience for them, boosts their confidence, and it also gives them the opportunity to try things that they might not otherwise have the opportunity to do. So many kids go through, get their job at 14 at McDonald's, work in retail, work in food, come out and then try and pick a career. It's a bit tough if you've only ever done customer service or if you've only ever done basic menial jobs. By going through the process of running your own business, even when you're young, you get exposure to that, all the aspects of that. So you might discover that you love sales and marketing. You might discover that you love the actual product development or the creating and the making of it. You might decide that you enjoy being the person that does the donations and managing that side. You might like being the person that does the budget and being the finance person. By going through this process in a really brief period of time, but at an age when kids are still open to the experience and still able to be engaged really closely with this stuff and doing something that is actually fun, we're getting amazing results with these kids. So that's why we've decided to make this a product, make it an official line, and we've launched Maker Kids, which is quite exciting. So thanks for joining me for this intro video. The next video I'm going to take you through a few of the stories of the kidpreneurs that I've met as a result of doing this. And this is really to give you an opportunity to see how easy it is, to see what types of businesses they come up with, and to hear a little bit from them about their experience. So thanks very much for joining me for this first video. I look forward to talking to you in the next one, which is our case study video. All right, see you soon.